To manifest a desired future, you've got to break free from the current emotional state or past emotions that are holding you back from reaching it. Let me explain. So one of the biggest things that holds people back is the glass ceiling that is created from lower vibe emotions that exist when you ruminate or live in either your current reality or your past, where the emotions associated with that reality are low vibe. Let's say, for example, right now you have a career, you have a job that you don't like. You maybe feel a little guilt, shame, humiliation, and embarrassment around it. Well, that becomes the feeling that becomes your glass ceiling. In other words, you can't think, feel, and act greater than that self-imposed ceiling based on the emotion that you're feeling. So what do? Well, there's a way to get through it, and I'm gonna explain that in a moment. My name is Dr. Jay Kavanaugh. I'm a high performance mindset coach at thevibemindset.com. We've got all kinds of great resources there. Go check them out. Now, when we want to break free or break through that imposed glass ceiling that is essentially an emotional ceiling, we need to look forward into our future, and we need to activate the most beautiful thing that we have that we don't use enough for good, but we often use for the wrong reasons, which is our imagination. Now, when you start to imagine your desired future and you start to do reps of that task, in other words, let's say, for example, you want a new job and you start placing your focus, energy, and attention on imagining what that new job will look like. What will it pay like? What will your bank account look like? What's your office gonna look like? How's the commute gonna go? These are the types of things that you want to start thinking about so that you can keep living in that desired future, because there is a very, very huge benefit in doing so. And that is that this emotional state that you've ruminated in over and over and over again has become either your mood or your temperament, which forms that glass ceiling, if you will. Well, to break free through it, you need to whack it enough times with theoretically that new emotional state, right, of your desire being fulfilled. And so if you start to feel excited, you start to feel joy for this new career that's about to happen and that you're working your ways towards, and you're inching towards it each and every day. You're sending out resumes, you're planning out what it's gonna be, you're talking to people, you're putting the vibe out there through conversations you have with your friends and family that, hey, I'm looking for a new job. Here are the skills I have. Here's what I can do to help someone. Here are the problems I'm really good at solving. Once you start putting that energy out, now all of a sudden it starts reflecting back, and it reflects back as people saying, oh wow, yeah, you know what? You are great at that, and I actually do know someone, so I'm gonna put you in contact with them. Well, now all of a sudden you start having a higher vibe. You have some pride, some courage, some hope, some excitement, some joy. Boom, you break through that glass ceiling, and now all of a sudden you start to realize that you're thinking, feeling, and acting greater than you were when you were ruminating in the past. Now all of a sudden that ceiling is now here. You're no longer stuck here. And that's why a lot of times you hear people saying, you've probably said to yourself, I just feel stuck. I feel so stuck. I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. I feel like I'm in a hamster wheel, Groundhog Day, all these types of things. Yeah, well, it's because you can't get past here and you go up, bang, right back down. Well, now all of a sudden, if you start imagining in detail reps daily, to the point where you're living in this new emotional state, in other words, a mood or a temperament, because don't forget, the way that emotions work is, if you have a feeling once or twice or 3 times, it's like a spike, right? You feel great, let's say it's happiness, right? You feel happiness, boom, there's a spike, you feel great, but then that feeling subsides. Feelings are very transient, right? But what happens is if you have enough elevated emotions or elevated feelings over time, that starts to feed into what we call a mood or temperament, which is a much more generalized state of being, right? And so that's what we're looking for here to break through that imaginary glass ceiling, if you will, right? So we're looking to create that mood and temperament. And the way to do it is through reps, is through focus, and that repetition is activating a feeling over and over again, which is over time rising the tide of your emotions, your mood, your temperament, and allowing you the freedom to now think in different ways, imagine in better ways, develop narratives that serve you instead of having the ones that hold you back. And you've basically opened the floodgates to a better future. If you have any comments about this, type them below. I'd love to hear them. Go check out The Vibe Mindset. Talk soon.